Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to About the House. This is your audio university of knowledge of everything about your home, from construction to maintenance, remodeling, real estate investing, you name it. We talk about everything about it. And what's so really awesome is because we have so much information, we have to have this on podcast so you can come back and listen to it because the information is just so overwhelming of everything that we have. It just got to listen to it on the podcast. And this is Troy Galloway. We are a one-of-a-kind company. Just like this radio show, there isn't another company like ours in the Midwest that provides the services we do for the folks. We help in construction consulting. If you have any questions about if your job's being done right or not, you give us a call. We do new construction inspections, whether you're doing a remodeling project or you're building a new home. Believe it or not, we don't always know what's happening when we do these projects. So we want to make sure that they're being done right. And the only way we could ever do that is actually bring in another professional that take a look at it to let us know. We also do commercial and residential inspections. So if you're buying a building or buying a home, you want to make sure that you know what you're getting, then you give us a call. We'd love to be able to help you. We also do construction conflict and resolution, any expert witnessing for any type of litigation work. We don't ever want to have to go there, but sometimes, the contractor doesn't always work with us, or maybe you're the contractor and the customer just doesn't understand what you're trying to talk about, and you just need to have a professional come in. That's what we specialize in. We've been doing this for over 42 years. I have been working in the Midwest for that whole time. We've been well known throughout the St. Louis, Missouri, and Illinois region. We also stretch down to also Tennessee sometimes, up into Chicago. Our motto is that you're getting what you paid for. The job is being done right, and you're not getting ripped off. So give us a call, Galloway Building Services. Our number is 636-394-3112. While I'm here, before we get started in the program, I wanted to thank one of our premier sponsors, J&H Property Real Estate Broker Agents. They are large enough to handle all of your buying and selling needs, whether you're buying a home, selling a home, buying raw property to build a home on, or even buying a farm. If you was looking to have somebody to help you buy the farm next door, or for hunting ground. So give them a call. I hear all times of great reviews coming about them. People call me all the time or send me text messages how much they really enjoy working with them and how happy they are they heard about them on the radio show. And their phone number is 314-602-4835. That's 314-602-4835. Well, today, folks, this is our Halloween special. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just share with you some of the experiences that we have had in the past doing different inspections. We get hired actually to go in on different types. Believe it or not, we get hired to try to find oddities or things that would be considered maybe paranormal, or to dispel it. Some folks really want to have a place that would be considered paranormal, because it's a great advertising for them. And we're going to talk about that on one of the projects that we was out there looking at. And we also have had people that just want to make sure that they have a good clean house, that there's nothing happening in there. So I'm going to just and I'm going to also touch base about this. I'm doing this show all by myself, of my personal experiences, but we also going to, talk about some of the things that people think is hauntings or paranormal that's really not. It's just part of why, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But so let's just jump right into this here. First, I wanted to share with you one of the experiences that we had. Now, this happened several years ago, and at them days, we wasn't doing as much home inspections as we was just doing a lot of building, as we have been a builder for all these years too. And so this was a home over in Adams, Illinois. It's a little tiny country town. As a matter of fact, this house was an old Civil War house, And 2-story, just picture this, an old big red barn sitting out there in the yard, 2-story white building, home that was there on a 1-lane country road, gravel road. And the folks, they'd had some really odd experiences in the home. So they just asked us, not thinking anything about being a paranormal or anything, just to see if we could figure out what the heck was going on with their home. And one of their biggest complaint was that they had, in the kitchen area only, that they would have this horrible, horrible smell. And it would just and what was interesting about it, it wasn't that it was just, it would come and go as quickly. So in other words, it might just appear a minute and be gone in an hour or two, or it might last 2 or 3 days. And so we was thinking, well, maybe we have a well. It's an old home. And we thought, well, maybe it's a well underneath there, that they may had. Well, we never found anything like that. There was no well. We actually never figured out where this smell was coming from. It just literally would just appear and disappear as about as quickly as it came. So, no well, no dead animals, no anything, which was really peculiar. But then when we was over there, and so we was working and checking the place out one time, because we went over there several times, and this was probably getting on closer to the end of the workday. And so we were sitting in the kitchen, and we was just sitting there visiting, having a cup of coffee, and the owner said, "You hear that?" I said, "What do you mean?" You said, "Hear that upstairs above us?" Because the kitchen was on the lower level, and you could hear footprints, step, a crocket across. Now, you country folks all know there's a difference between varmints running across the room, because varmints get into the house, or if it's a person. And it was a slow pace back and forth. Well, I may be an old Marine, a Vietnam vet, but if I told that fella, I said, "Hey, buddy, if it ain't coming down here, we ain't going up," and we just let it go. Well, this really had these folks freaked out by now. And they would be times that the dogs would literally just start barking and raising Cain, and there'd be nothing there. Absolutely. And they never did understand what was happening. So, to make a long story short, they lived there 3 months, and they were gone. They broke the lease, and they said to the homeowner, a building owner, I asked them, "How are you going to get out of your lease?" They said, "We're just going to tell them what's going on." Well, apparently something must have happened, because that was all it took. They was gone. They said what had happened, and apparently this owner must have heard something about this before, because they didn't hold them to their lease. So anyway, that was just kind of an odd story, and I just thought I'd share one of these with you. But, we're going to talk about a little bit more about some other stories too. But I also want, like I said, I want to mix some of this stuff up in here about some of the things that happen that aren't any kind of issues, and like a squeaky floors. So, we hear that a lot too. People think that their house may be having some kind of issues. Well, what happens is because of the temperature changes, the house will literally move. And so sometimes, as it's shrinking or swelling, depending on the seasons, your floors will then also be moving. The whole house literally moves. And so naturally you're going to get a little bit of popping. You're going to hear sounds that there's nobody in the other room. And don't worry about it. A lot of times that's just nothing but, your house moving. So, but, we want to think about what's happening with that too. And it's just, that's why we get called. Come out there, take a look. And we don't have any spooky music or anything to throw in here. Oh, we're just going to tell about the stories, because we got a few more great stories. I'm going to tell a little bit about some experiences that we had on a home out here in Chesterfield on the next segment. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some, different odds and end pictures that we have found over the years. That's all documented. We get paid to actually come in here to take a look at these things. So you're really going to want to jump in here on the next segment and catch us with us. We got a whole bunch of great stories, some funny, some kind of spooky, and just some that are just normal occurrences that just happen. Well, folks, thank you for listening to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway, and I will catch you on the other side. And thank you for listening.
Sponsored by Troy Galloway and Galloway Building Services, your top choice for professional home inspections in the St. Louis area. GallowayBuildingServices.com. Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway, owner of Galloway Building Services. We are a certified construction inspection and consulting company, and we want to give a shout-out to one of our premier sponsors, Jacob Abraham of Classic Flooring Solutions, third generations hardwood specialists. I've known these folks for years and years. I've got a podcast of Jacob on here. You're going to love to hear what he has to say. So jump in here. You check out our podcast. Give him a call. If you really want your job done right the first time without any kind of hassle, they can just come in. They clean up well after themselves. And you just tell them that Troy Galloway About the House, you heard him talking about you, and he'll give you a special discount. His phone number, 314-302-7222. That's 314-302-7222. Well, folks, this is our Halloween special. So we wanted to I'm sharing with you a little bit of some experiences that we've had and doing inspections and such. And like I said in the last segment, we get called to, see what's happening in homes. They hear things happening. They got issues, or they're making clanging or banging or just oddities, and they just want to make sure everything is fine. They give us a call. Sometimes we get called, actually, to confirm that it is. Believe it or not, some folks really want to think their house has paranormal activity. They think that's pretty cool stuff. I'm not so much that way. I know my wife's not that way, but it's pretty cool. Well, anyway, I want to share this with you here, this story here. So I actually, real quick here, I'll try to be a little bit faster than I was on the last segment. I'm going to tell you a story about out here at Chesterfield. Now, I can't tell you a little bit any more than that, but it's old part of Chesterfield. And I know some of you folks out there who listen to some of these stories, you was with me during some of these experiences, so you know. So we wanted to do this inspection, and I got there early to the job, and I went to set the radon machine to testing for radon, which we do. And so anyway, I heard some movement upstairs, some bouncing around a little bit, like somebody walking on the floor. But it's an older house. Didn't think anything about it. So I just kind of blew it off a little bit. I had to take off, and I called the guy that did the sewer lateral inspection. Now, and I know he's listened to the show. Actually, this just blew his mind. So he's there on and he calls me. He said, "Troy, I thought you said nobody's in this house." I said, "No, man, there ain't nobody in there." He says, "Every single time I open up the sewer cap that's on the stack pipe to run a sewer inspection camera down it," he said, "the toilet upstairs would flush and just blast me with water." And I said, "Well, why don't you run upstairs and tell them, if somebody's there? Because, nobody wants that old nasty water coming down on them, He went upstairs and he called me, he says, "There's nobody in this house." I said, "Well, maybe it's just a toilet flushing on its own." So anyway, he goes back downstairs, and it does it again. Well, he's out of there. He gets his inspection done. He's out of there. He says, "I'm not coming back." I said, "Oh, you're just being silly, That toilets just sometimes they can flush like that." So anyway, I went back over there and did my inspection. And as I was doing that afternoon, and I was doing the full home inspection there, and I heard all kinds of banging and clanging like pots and pans upstairs. So anyway, I thought, okay, this is kind of a weird experience. So I just hollered, and I just said, "That's enough. I'm here for business. You either show yourself or go away." Well, I didn't hear any more. I literally didn't hear any more. Did my inspection. Everything went fine. But anyway, so I went back then and got my radon machine a couple of days later. It takes about 48 hours to get a radon inspection. So I asked the tenant, I said, do you ever have any kind of odd experiences in your home? He looked right at me and he said, you mean if my house is haunted? I said, well, I wasn't really meaning that. I said, but do you have any? He says, oh, yeah. He says, I tell you, he said, honestly, he said, this house, he says, I get all kinds of clanging and banging going on. There's like dishes down in the kitchen. He said, I came home one time. He says, all of my shoes were thrown out of the closet all over my bedroom. He says, I came home another time and all my clothes were out of the dresser, out of the closet, thrown out all over the bedroom. He said, I called up the landlord. The landlord's his buddy. He said, hey, this ain't funny. He said, oh, would you stop this? The landlord says, I'm not even in town, bud. I didn't have nothing to do with that. Well, apparently he said he'd literally go around through the house with rosary beads and pray, to do whatever. But he said it never caused any harm. Well, I kind of broke the golden rule here, and I said something to the sellers or the buyers about this. They had small children, and I thought they might want to know that there's just some odd activity going on over there at the house. Well, she didn't want no part of it, but he, on the other hand, the husband said, that's just BS. That ain't nothing happening. And so, I made sure I did what I felt in my heart to do and just inform him of everything that was going on. So anyway, make a long story short, they had some cracked foundation. And so he's over there with his contractor. Now, this is how I know the story. He calls me on Monday to tell me this story. This is this buyer's husband. And as he calls me and he said, you're not going to believe this. He said, we was over there, me and my contractor, looking at that. We was down in the basement. And he says, I'm probably standing about 15, 20 feet away from him. I'm looking at something else. And I said, I looked over beside him and he said, all of a sudden my contractor friend slammed up against the wall. Now, that's his word, slammed up against the wall. He said his contractor turned around and looked at him. He said he just turned white as a ghost, if I may use that pun. And he said, I know that wasn't you. He said, something just slammed me against his wall. And he says, I don't care if you buy his house or not. I'm not working here. Oh, that killed the deal. So anyway, they didn't get out of the deal because of that. But what was interesting is during these anomalies that was happening, my radon machine was picking up crazy abnormal readings. I mean, just bizarre readings that I honestly thought something was going on with my machine. So anyway, that was pretty interesting of itself. We could never confirm exactly what it was, but we know it wasn't of this world. So, these things are happening out there. Don't know what they are. But I also, as like on the last segment, like to talk a little bit about some of the things that happen in our home that we honestly think is kind of paranormal, but it's not. For instance, we get called sometimes that doors slam shut or blow open, just wham, and just blast wide open. Well, what we've discovered on a lot of these different investigations or inspections is that we get a draft. And so, for instance, if you have like your furnace turning on or something, or maybe they got a window that's open and the wind blows in a certain direction, and that'll make your windows or your doors open and close. Maybe they're not latched properly. During home inspections, that's one of the things we make sure that they actually latch when shut. So, it's nothing paranormal about that, folks. Things like that happen. So if your door's open or slam shut, don't worry about it. If you are thinking you got a problem, give us a call, and we could take a look at it. And we kind of look at all the different possibilities. But that happens more often than you might think, of that kind of, which would maybe think it'd be anomalies, but it's not. Just normal occurrences of pressure in the home. So anyway, that's one of the different things that we've also discovered out there. Hey, we are going to move on here to the next segment. But before I do, I want to give out one of our sponsors here that's been with us, and he's also have a podcast on his radio show with us, and that's Rob Jackson of the Crack Crew. Now, Rob is a good fella. He's honest. A lot of these crack repair companies, foundation, they're not necessarily always tell you 100% on the level. Well, Rob is just not that kind of guy. He's a straight shooter. If he will make sure that the job is done right, he warranties all his products, and you just got to give Rob Jackson, the Crack Crew, a call if you got any kind of water issues in your basement. And if he can't help you, he'll guide you to the other professionals that can. And his phone number is 1-314-805-5692. That's 1-314-805-5692. And all these fellas here that are all these companies, you just like Rob, you tell him you heard us on the radio show, tell him you listen to his podcast. He makes sure he'll give you a great discount. He will help you out, take good care of you. Thank you, folks. We'll see you on the flip side.
Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway. I am the owner of Galloway Building Services. We are a certified premier inspection company and construction consulting. You ever have any troubles with your project, you want to make sure it's being done right, you give us a call. Or if you're buying or selling a house and you want to make sure you know what you're getting, that's what we specialize in. We take our time, we educate folks. Heck, fire, I even have college classes that I teach in construction besides this radio show. And but today, this is our Halloween special. So we're going to talk a little bit about some weird things that we found out there when we get hired to go. Sometimes we get hired to go out there to look for weird things. People want to have weird things. Other people want to make sure they don't have weird things. So, but I'm going to tell you a couple of more stories here, but we're going to tell about his church. So this church out here, this is in St. Charles County. And I can't tell you the church because, I don't think they want the world to know about who they are. But the minister and the secretary would always say that they'd hear somebody upstairs in the sanctuary walking around, making noises. And so because it was of a church, it just struck our curiosity. So they invited us to come over to see if we could take some of our equipment. We have thermal imaging equipment. We also have, some different cameras and such that we use to try to do this. We are not absolutely kind of paranormal specialists. So we don't want to talk weird, but, we do pick up stuff, just like we all do, sometimes when we take weird pictures and such. More pictures and more things are picked up by the non-professionals than the professionals. So, for whatever reasons. But I wanted to share one of this with the church. So what we did is that we set up, and actually my wife was with me on this one, and she's probably going to be mad at me that I brought her into this story, but she is my witness. And so it was on a Wednesday, and they was doing a special prayer service. It was doing a meditation prayer type service, and I'm not quite for sure what it was in regards to, but the folks were up on the stage area, and they was in a circle, and they wasn't chanting or nothing. They was just praying, and it was a Christian church, so it wasn't like they was doing anything weird in there. But so our job was just to take pictures. That's all we was to do, just to take pictures. And we was just randomly walking around taking pictures of everything, just snapping here or there. I never saw anything during the whole course of the picture taken. But my wife, and she will testify to this, because reason I wanted her, she's a non-believer. She did not believe in this stuff. She just thought it was all crazy stuff. But she literally seen like a black cloud go across the top of the pews. She said it just went right on top of the pews and right out the stained glass window. It just freaked her out, something fierce. Well, anyway, after we got done processing all of the pictures and such, we seen all kinds of, for instance, the person that was leading this particular prayer session, there was a blue orb that hung over top of his head. Now, orbs come and go. We see them in pictures. Nothing new here. But when you see an orb that would be there for almost a half an hour above, the same size, not distorted, blue, that is an anomaly. We also saw other different things like orbs, and you could highlight them and you could see faces or what appeared to be faces inside of these orbs. Now, that's pretty weird stuff too. But that's if your imagination is running away from you, there's not much you can't see. Okay, so you got to keep an open mind. Well, then I saw over there in the pews, you could see the silhouette of it looked like a man and a woman sitting in the pews. What was more interesting is when this was shared, these pictures, every time anybody would put them in their computer to download, their computer crashed. It happened 3 times. To this day, I still have these pictures that we do not pull up because I can't afford for the computer to go down. Whether that's a freak accident or not, I don't know, but we ain't doing it again. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of a fun story to talk about. But let me tell you about another one here. Now, we're talking about in every segment about what happens when we think we get into some paranormal activity. So I have this really nice, expensive thermal imaging camera. And so I'm over there testing for energy losses in a home I was inspecting. This is so funny. I got to tell on myself. So I see, plain as day, a full figure in the refrigerator. And I'm thinking, nah, this ain't right. So I'm walking back and forth. It's not moving. Well, it's so funny. I have to laugh at myself. So I got up close. So I realized what that was is it was a stainless steel refrigerator, and it was my reflection. It was bouncing off that refrigerator. So let's not get all excited when we see weird things. A lot of times they're quite easily explained, and that was it right there. And the joke was on me. But that just goes to show how well, when we do energy inspections, how this thermal imaging works. And it literally will pick up your energy coming right off the mirror or stainless steel refrigerator. Well, folks, thank you for listening to About the House. We will catch you in the next segment. Catch you on the flip side.
Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome, folks, to About the House. This is Troy Galloway, your humble host, owner of Galloway Building Services. We are a certified construction and consulting inspection company. We are here to make sure that your job's being done right, you're not getting ripped off, and you're getting what you paid for. So give us a call if you ever have any concerns or thoughts, and you want to make sure that you're not going to have to do the job twice. Well, I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors here, and that's Orr Plumbing. Now, Jasmine and Daryl Orr, they was on our show. They actually have a podcast also that you can pull up. Great information, great company. Actually, they too are 3rd generation and wonderful people to work with. And you give them a call. You tell them you heard us on the radio station. They'll help give you a little special break and take good care of you. Good, honest folks. And their phone number is 314-398-0034. That's 314-398-0034. Well, we're back in here doing our Halloween special here, and shared a little bit about some of the experiences that we've had. Some good ones, some funny ones, and some are just bizarre. So anyway, let's just move into one other story here that I got. Now this one here was kind of, well, we're going to say kind of dangerous, how it happened. So I got a call. It was on a Saturday, and I got a call around. It was in the fall, I guess, and so it must have been 7 or 8 o'clock. And they said, "You got to come over and take a look at this, Troy." I knew these folks. I've known them for years. They said, "My outlets are literally exploding." No, what do you mean? He said, "No, they're getting hot, and they're burning everything up." And I said, "Well, that doesn't even make any sense." So I had to go take a look. They asked me, and they're friends of mine. So I go over there and I start checking it out. And honestly, folks, I can't find out what's going on with this. Now, I'm not a master electrician. Like we've had on our show, we've had a couple of great, Troy Lexer and Amanda Jogahorse, and both of these are different companies, great guys, but they can't even explain to what happened on this. So anyway, I started taking out the outlets, and then the lights started blowing up. I mean, the bulbs popping like huge power surge. And I'm thinking we got something's crisscrossed or something. So now I'm going through the house and pulling out. Now I pulled out almost every single receptacle. I ended up pulling every receptacle out of the house. Now I'm pulling the lights down, thinking, something must be in the attic or somewhere, maybe a squirrel or somebody got in there and ate some of these wires up. Don't have any idea. So I'm up in the attic and I'm looking at the junction boxes and I'm pulling the wires apart, so I'm trying to pinpoint where this surge is coming from. I get called when I'm up in the attic that they said, we just got a big problem. What happened was this fire shot up out of the air conditioner. Now I hadn't got that disconnected yet, but literally they said fire shot up out of that air conditioner about 10 feet. It just blew up. And so actually one of the guy that fixed it was listening to our show right now. And so he testified to it. But then the microwave exploded, and it blew the door wide open, and it blew the microwave up, and it wasn't functional anymore. So now I'm thinking we got us some serious problem here. Now I'm thinking this house literally could burn down. It doesn't, I don't know. I'm worried too. So I go downstairs to the breaker box. Now, I'm getting ready to tell you something just physically impossible. And if it wasn't for all these folks that was with me at the time, it would sound like another BS story. So I pulled out every single breaker in that box and literally had no breakers in the box. And the light in the room that we was standing in, was in the breaker room, was still turned on. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, there's no breakers. We've cut the current to everything throughout the house. So we go outside and check out the meter because I'm thinking something, now that's the last place, the power coming in the house. The meter was literally running backwards. That means power was coming out of the house back into the system. And it was just spinning backwards. Well, we called Ameren UE. We said, we got a problem, big problem over here. They come out there, but by the time they got out here, everything started going back to normal again. And the guy told me, he said, well, I'm not going to tell you that it didn't happen. He said, but it's impossible for that to happen. Power don't come out. I said, can the meter run backwards? Well, the old meters, they could. They could run backwards. People used to, do that for a utility scam. But I have no idea what ever happened with that. And we put it all back together. Never had another problem. The folks, they lived there for several years. They rented it out for several years, and not a single issue. So I don't know how to even begin to explain that one, but that's just one of them things. Well, so anyway, we also are sharing some of the odds that maybe are not so just normal things that people might think would be scary, but it's not. Like your lights flickering. Well, we get things from our power company, a little bit of power surges and different things, or, and brownouts. And so just because you have a light flicker, hey, I recommend highly that you get a licensed electrician and take a look at that. But don't think it's any kind of scary stuff or spooky. That just happens. It's not paranormal. So don't worry about it. Get a hold of like I said, a licensed electrician. He'll guide you. He'll take care of it. Well, folks, thank you for listening to this segment of About the House, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Troy Galloway is a construction manager and consultant, commercial and residential builder, and a certified inspector for all commercial and residential buildings. And now, here is About the House with Troy Galloway.
Welcome back, folks, to About the House. This is your humble host, Troy Galloway. I am the owner of Galloway Building Services, and I am a certified construction consulting and certified inspection company, from commercial to new construction inspections to buying and selling a home. So give us a call if you ever have an opportunity that you want to make sure that you're getting a good product, or you even know what the product is you're buying. And my phone number is 314-520-6655. Now, that's my special number to my cell phone. And the reason I wanted to give that to you is because you call me and I will give you, just like everybody else, a great discount and help you save some money on your inspections. But we are just wrapping up this show. This is our Halloween special, and we have had a lot of fun talking about just some odds and ends that's happened out there in the world. And I just know that you were really, I hope that you guys enjoy them just as much as I've enjoyed sharing them with you. And but we got a lot of different pictures out there, and hopefully we'll have them all posted here by Halloween. Some things we've seen down in Shermanville. Well, Sherman is the name of the town, and out in West County. It's a well-known haunted city. Actually, General Sherman came in and brought his entourage with him. And I guess they always say that the hauntings of what he had done came with him. As a matter of fact, it is on the register of haunted areas. The police have to go down there. Don't go down there during Halloween, because the police are all over the place, making sure nobody gets in there. But any other time, just wander on down there. You'll love it right here out here in West County. Well, folks, hey, we are going to wrap this show up. We've had some great folks help us out here over the year of our time here on the radio, and I just wanted to kind of go through a couple of them here with you. And one of them is Capel's Insurance. Mike Capel, Farmers Insurance. Mike, he had a great show with us. What he had done is he had brought about construction and homes and what you need to do to take care of it. He's a great guy. I highly recommend Mike. He takes his time. He's easy to talk to, and he goes the extra mile. And so give him a call. His phone number is 314-566-1788. That's 314-566-1788. And let's just jump over here and give Eco Power a quick shout out. They also did a show with us. Eco Power Electric Company, 314-374-5010. And they are a great company. They also do a little bit of solar work, so they can help you with that. And my husband and wife team, really enjoy them. Thank you guys for being part of our show and help sponsoring us. And so we're going to wrap this up. Oh, I better give a shout out to J&H Properties. They are a real estate broker company. They take good care of you. I hear great reviews about them. Give them a call. Their motto is large enough to handle all your buying and selling needs, and yet small enough to be sensitive. So they're a great company to work with. 314-602-4835. And I'm going to be wrapping up this here. I have really enjoyed talking with you folks over this course of time that we've been on the radio. And, we'd love to be able to be a service to you guys in the future. We all have all these things on podcasts, so I want you to go check out our podcast. Check us out on our Facebook page, Galloway Building Services, or check us out on our webpage, www.gallowaybuildingservices.com. We got a lot of great information out there. I got tons of YouTube videos out there. I teach at the college, so you can also learn more about home inspections or construction and things like that, and everything. We're just nothing but try to be informational and educational. So the more you know, the better prepared you are. Well, folks, thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. Thank you.